What's up, y'all? Today's an exciting day. Got some more parts in. One I've been really impatiently waiting for. They kept getting delayed and delayed and then delayed some more. But it's here. They're both here. So let's check them out. We'll start with the most expensive one, but the least exciting one, if that makes any sense. You can see what that says. So this right here is something I've been wanting for a while. I was wanting this back when I had the S10 even, but at the time I just didn't have the funds to get it. But I didn't want to deal with trying to plumb an air-to-air intercooler on this car, just because there's not a whole lot of space on Corvettes. But I mean, there's actually quite a bit behind the front bumper, but I figured I didn't want to mess with it. Look at that bad boy, got some bubble wrap. Got some plugs, because I wanted to plug the side I'm not going to use. And look at that, it did come with new hardware and a new gasket. So I didn't have to order one of these from Summit, which is nice. You guys want to see the pretty part? Oh man. Oh, get it out of here. Well, a lot bigger than I was expecting. Oh. There better be some stickers in here. Not a single sticker. How can you spend $1,400 on an intercooler and not get a cool sticker? So this is the new TIC Performance liquid to air intercooler. These are made specifically for the Holley high rams or mid-rise or whatever, just made for the Holley intakes in general. They have two different ones. This one is 1 3/4 inches, I believe, tall, or 3 3 inches, 3 1/4 inches. Sorry. So this one's 3 1/4 inches, and I believe the other one, excuse me. I believe the other one they have is like 6 1/4 or 6 3/4, something like that. It's massive. But the Holley already sticks out of the hood pretty far by itself, and adding another 3 inches to that, I didn't want it sticking ridiculously tall through the hood. But now I don't really think there's going to be a hood back on the car anyways, because I'm assuming the turbo is going to poke through the hood as well. So this will be pretty nice to have. This is good for 1,400 horsepower, which I don't think that car is going to make 1,400 horsepower. I'm hoping for 900 to 1,000, but this is going to be pretty nice. A simple setup. They have ports on each side, so you can plumb it from whatever side of the car you want. This is probably going to be, there'll be a tank in the trunk, and I'll just plumb the lines up to the engine bay. I'll put a heat exchanger in the front bumper, and then some kind of inline pump to pump it. When I'm at the track, I'll put ice in it to really keep the intake temps down. So when these plugs are just here, so you can plug the side you're not going to use, which they excuse me, dying of Ebola after like a month and a half. They give you these plugs. They don't give them to you, you can choose them or not, but just so you don't, because the water's going to come in one side, go out the other. So now let's look at the other piece that came in. I'm really excited about this one. This is the next one. Oh. Turbocharger. So I got this from, where did I get this from? Huronspeed.com is where I got this, and they have really inexpensive turbos. So this is obviously a VS Racing turbo, and it's got an upgraded wheel, so it's got a billet wheel, and it's really the only upgrade to it is a billet wheel. I wonder if this one comes with a sticker. That's why we buy Go Fast parts, right? Just for the stickers. Let's see. So we got some gaskets. So this is the same size turbo as what was on the S10. Can you get over? You always gotta look in the box for the stickers. Not a single one. So let's unwrap this bad man jamma. All right, so this is a VS Racing T4 S475. It's the same size turbo that was on the S10. This should probably be good for, I don't know, 18 pounds maybe, which should hopefully give me around 1,000 horsepower. And the only upgrade that this one has is it does have a billet wheel. And this is, I did opt for a journal bearing, didn't go with a ball bearing, anything like that. Didn't want to go some crazy, ridiculous, expensive turbo. But yeah, the only upgrade that I chose was just a billet wheel. This is what's gonna start making some new noises in the old Corvette. Pretty excited. So I think today what we're gonna do is we're gonna get this mounted and welded to the manifold in the car. And then after that, we can start planning the exhaust and then start planning the intake, which means I'll have to bolt the high ram or bolt the intercooler onto the intake and get that situated and figure out intake. And then once, so I did order, I got more welding wire so that I can finish the exhaust that we were building on the last video. I did order the other stuff, the other header for the driver's side, and I ordered new V-bands and some other little things, and those will be here. It's Tuesday right now. The V-bands should be here tomorrow, and then the rest of the exhaust stuff is probably not going to be here until next week. So yeah, so for now, what we're gonna do is fit the intercooler and hopefully get the turbo mounted up fully. So let's start that. So what do you guys think right there? Right there, huh? Nah, it's a little too tall for me. But it kind of looks like we're not gonna be able to go down a whole lot further than this. We might end up doing is putting this upside down. Welding the flange onto here, but putting it down lower. I think, like right in there somewhere, we're definitely gonna move this guy. Mind the wires. So, shit going on. I say we cut, I'm gonna cut about 4 inches off of this and see what we get. So I think I'm gonna cut about 3 inches off, not 4. So this build so far, a lot of this has just been winging it. Like I'm just cutting stuff, and honestly, like it's working out phenomenally. So, like I'm doing the whole measure once, cut once thing, and it's been working out to my advantage so far. So, a little bit before. All right. So that's there. That's there. Could def cut this down a little bit more. Need my tape measure. I should do is just take the exhaust housing off the turbo. Do I want to do that? I think I want to take another inch of it off. Yeah, I think we're gonna take another inch off, because you gotta think, you got the thickness of that, which is about an inch. And you got the thickness of that, which is about a half an inch, so I'm gonna take another inch of this off. It looks extremely short, which kinda is. Whew, that's low. See, the more I cut it, the more it's bringing the turbo in closer to the valve cover. Maybe we're gonna tack this old boy in. Get my Sharpie and tack this guy in. Alright. New Harbor Freight wire for my Harbor Freight welder. Ain't nothing wrong with it though, it works great. It's been welding this stuff like a champ.
One eternity later.
Alright, let's go ahead and tack this bad boy on. It's not terrible. If I go any lower, putting oil in it's gonna suck. This might be where it lives. So I think now we're gonna tack this guy in from the inside on this one. Good enough tacks. Alright, pull this bad guy out and fully weld it. Clampy clamp off down here. I was hoping that this might clear the, I think the fuse box might clear right there, but I don't think it's gonna. Good way to test my welds. Hold it by the thing. Fucker's heavy though. Alright, got this over on the bench and let's start welding. The pedestal, I guess you would call it, fully welded up.
Brush, 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 brush.
It wasn't coming off. I'm gonna say that's not too bad. Got some welds on the inside. Alright, so that's where we are so far. Too bad, not too bad. Still able to put oil in it, get the valve covers off. I probably could have lowered it down a little bit more, but I just didn't really want to mess with any of that. Like, and now I can still get a pipe on here, not have to worry about doing like a forward tilt radiator, which I still might do, but yeah, next is going to be figuring out the intake, which is going to be a little weird, but we'll figure that part out too. As far as exhaust, I'm still going to try to get the exhaust to come down and under here, because there is actually a lot of room down in here, so I'm hoping that I can get it down in there, but we'll see. So yeah, that's really all I can do with the turbo for right now. I guess I can order up some oil feed and oil drain, get that started, order up some stuff to start the exhaust, and figure out a wastegate, which I think there's plenty of room for the wastegate to go right there. So it'll either go in the front or in the back, but I think the wastegate's going to go down here somewhere. And I don't know where that'll dump. I'll probably just follow the exhaust out and dump wherever the exhaust comes out, which the exhaust is going to come out right down in here somewhere, hopefully. So the fender's got to come off so I can figure that out. Yeah, I think next we'll pop off the top hat to the intake and see what the intake looks like with the TIC intercooler on it. Pop that. It's done. I regret it. Alright, got the top hat of the intake off and just got the intercooler just sitting up there. I'll bolt it down with a few little bolts just to keep it from falling off. And then next is going to be figuring out the intake. So this is going to be a little tricky. So I was looking up those angled throttle bodies, and they're like $500. So I was like, nah, we're not going to do that. So then I was like, you know what, this is an electronic throttle body. I'll just flip it upside down. Because all this was over here. And it was like right in front of the turbo. So, I mean, I'll have to extend the wires, but that's not a big deal. 4 wires or so to extend. So, yeah, this made this a whole hell of a lot easier. So, really, it can just come out and then come right back in. Clamp there. So, yeah, it's coming along pretty nicely. I'm excited. I'm getting really excited. So, tonight, I'm going to order up some stuff. I'll order up some aluminum tube for the intake. I'll order up some exhaust to build my exhaust dump, and the rest of the exhaust for the driver's side to connect the crossover underneath is already on its way. So we're moving quite at a good pace, I would say. All right, did a little work off camera, and so I really don't want to have a hood exit. I mean, if I absolutely have to, I will, but I'm going to attempt to build a fender exit. So I can't have the fuse box where it used to be because this turbo is just too big. So it does mount here nicely. And then already I'm going to move these coolant lines, and I'm going to cut them off up by the firewall and run them under the intake manifold. So these will be out of the way. This goes back down by the starter. This goes to the starter. So those are just floating around. But so the pipe coming out of the exhaust is going to be 4-inch, and I got to try to stuff it in this hole I made. So it's going to go roughly through there. Had to do a lot of wire maintenance. Not really maintenance, but just stuffing the wires down. Unplugging, replugging. All this will be covered by the fender and the fender liner and all that. But yeah, so that's the area I've got to work with to run the exhaust out of. I cut the bottom section of the tray for the fuse box out. I'll just wrap that in some like heat tape. And then I probably won't wrap these in any kind of tape, but I'll wrap the exhaust in heat wrap. I was able to move this module, so these wires came out down here, and this was sitting like vertically. But I was able to get the wires to come out of here and mount this up sideways. It's not firmly mounted. I'll have to figure something out to firmly mount it. had to do some trimming, so that went about there. So just took that out and did that. So that's what I got to work with. So I think I can fit, I got roughly like 5 inches of room in here, so I could fit a 4-inch pipe out of here and then come down and then poke it out the side of the fender. So that's what I'm going to try to do. And I'm not going to try to squeeze a wastegate dump out there. Like I said, the wastegate will probably be here, and I'll just tie it right into the pipe. Doesn't need to be dumped anywhere else but there. So that's where we're at for right now. A lot of the big stuff's going to be done as far as exhaust and plumbing for the turbo in the next week or so. So the rest of it's just going to be the little tiny stuff. Figuring out drain, figuring out oil feed. A lot of work to do still though. Anyways guys, I think that's going to be it for this one. Thanks for watching.